Definitely our ability to play with better eye control, which led to us playing faster in our initial fits, and then the way we pursued to the ball. I believe that we played with good fundamentals and techniques at the line of scrimmage, which most of the time got us ahead of the chains, and we were able to get some pressure on the quarterback, and that always helps a tremendous amount. But ultimately, too, one of the biggest things is just simply tackling. Whether it be in run plays or certain pass plays, being able to eliminate the yards after contact by being efficient tacklers, which eventually, those yards start to stack up. And so while we did a good job with that stuff, there's still room to grow, and it will call for us to grow as we go down the stretch here with each one of these opponents that, we'll play. The coaches did a good job putting a plan together, and the players executed. Ultimately, there's one thing about this game: it's working as a team. It's spending the time, handling the process. Really felt like, as a whole, the defense, not only through the bye week, but also through the week of prep for Wyoming, we stacked 2 good weeks there of prep in terms of guys. We've been talking about the competitive maturity and how, that's not just when we get on the field, but that's the process of which it takes to be efficient, to be consistent on the field. And as we've talked about, we're not young anymore. We got some young personnel on defense, but we're not young anymore. We played a lot of football, and now it's time to apply that, continue to grow forward. Again, this week presents a whole, presents a lot more challenges. The offense is quite different that we're going to face this week, and so there's certain things that we did in the game last week that we must do better this week. But ultimately, in the run game, the guys did a really good job playing with fundamentals and techniques. And being consistent with the fits. The more consistent you are at the line of scrimmage, then the second level can fit. We had some players that played with, great eye control, were able to see their keys and make some negative yardage plays or some plays at the line of scrimmage, which put us ahead of the chains. That's the 2-quarterback system which we've been operating out of. And as we've gone through, it's been awesome to be able to see both these guys play and be productive and score, move the ball down the field. It really comes down to us being more efficient, which in the passing game we've been more efficient since we've been doing it on third downs. We've been more efficient. Like we've talked about, we've had more offensive production. We've scored more points. So it's something that we can continue to build off of because our guys, in particular the 2 quarterbacks and their mentality and their preparation and how they go about it. And again, it's the want to. It's the willingness to do whatever it is that we can do to start in a role to help the team win. I think a lot of it, too, comes down to the stuff behind the scenes that people don't see, just in terms of his preparation. He obviously has a high football IQ, right? He has a great feel for the game when he's on the field in terms of his ability to lead in the pre-snap. That comes with preparation and having the confidence. And then obviously once that ball snap, to be able to work through a progression to having the understanding of how to stay on time with his feet within the pockets and the pre-snap reads from the certain coverages that he gets. And so we've got to continue to build off that. I mean, the team we're playing this week, is taking the ball away a lot, and they got one corner with 4 interceptions. And so it's going to present a lot of challenges this week. They've gotten a lot of sacks, so I believe one part of that, too, is how we've been able to protect the quarterback, and we're going to have a great challenge with that this week, being that they've got a lot of guys on this Fresno defense that have got TFLs or sacks. Even our rushing yards altogether as a team have been up since we've been using both guys. But like we said all along, like Mad Dog's capable of running the ball too. Just like TG. Okay, don't forget about that explosive pass play TG hit early on in the game as well. But it's pretty impressive to see Mad Dog run behind his pads as you were talking about. And then it's football, right? You're gonna run the ball. We got to take care of the ball, and we got to take care of ourselves. We'd like to see those guys, take care of their bodies a little bit, in particular the quarterbacks a little. But it's part of the game. You know what? And it's exciting to see when you have quarterbacks that can run the ball and can put the ball down the field. That is very exciting to see, and it's very tough on the defense. And so to be able to put the series together where he did run the ball, got us some yards, and then was able to finish that drive off with a touchdown pass was pretty impressive. Again, it's it's an awesome opportunity to have both of these guys where you can put TG in the game, and we're in a critical situation, and TG pulls the ball and keeps it and gets around the edge, and with his speed, there was no one could catch him, and there we are. We score another touchdown. So how we continue to create the rhythm is going to be the biggest part. How we're efficient, on third downs is going to be the biggest part, because that obviously allows us to get another set of downs and keep drives moving. And we had just before the half in the last game, it was a 13-play drive or something like that, where we are able to score, going into halftime. I mean, he's earned the right to start. And, again, we saw what we did on the first drive too, correct? Now, we got to take care of the ball. That's the bottom line too, okay? And it's not – we got to take care of the ball. We've got a huge emphasis on that. And, we came out, scored on our very first drive on an explosive pass play, and was able to execute a two-point conversion. So, there's things that we're able to do really well, and when we're able to see what a particular game plan is, then, for Bush to have the ability to use two quarterbacks, how we see fit, has obviously been productive. Our numbers have gone up in, almost every category. Very efficient and quick with his decision making. The scheme calls for, in a lot of cases for him to be able to get the ball out of his hands very quickly, and he's very good about making decisions, being able to identify and see things in the pre-snap, and be quick with his feet and his release. And then, they've got the vertical pass game to go along with it as well, whether it's, off run looks or a drop back pass game. And they've done a really good job, with the new quarterback, and and really a wide receiver core that has been extremely productive. I mean, they got two wide receivers that they both lead the team with 41 receptions, so that's a lot of production there. He has some of the best numbers. I mean, he's up there with touchdowns thrown this season, his completion percentage. When you're facing a guy that has 68% completion percentage, it stacks up pretty high. They've played some good teams, some good defenses this year, so we have. That's been a huge part of the challenge this year is we've seen some good quarterbacks. We've seen some wide receiver cores and some tight ends that have been shown to be very productive over the course of the year, even after we've played them. Both programs have had a lot of success. As we said before, Coach Stefford's done an unbelievable job. And so in this conference, there's usually a lot on the line when these two teams play each other, whether it's, and it's really there's been cases where we played each other twice, for obvious reasons in a given year. And in one particular year, it was back-to-back games.